This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Manchester, second down bounce. I'm speaking to Eddie Hearn. Eddie, firstly, how are you and what have you done to your finger?
Oh, this is an injury from the Frank Smith spar. It's very embarrassing. Unfortunately, I hit his elbow in the spar in the second round. Went 6, because obviously I'm a warrior. A warrior. He's abs, he reckons. And it's been so painful, but I've been embarrassed to go and see anyone. And I went to see a finger specialist and he told me it's a complete snap of the bone. And unfortunately and embarrassingly, I've got to have an operation with 4 screws and a wire in my finger. All from a spar with him.
So in some way, Frank's come out looking a lot better now.
It has actually. It's really embarrassing to be honest with you, but it is what it is.
Eddie, we saw on the scales today, Chris Van Heerden coming lighter than what most would have probably expected. 145.8, I believe it was. What did you make of him on the scales?
I thought he looked incredible. I thought he was ripped to shreds, and he's huge. And I think he's going to refuel to 162, something like that, in fight night. So he's going to be a lot bigger than Conor in there. But look, Conor looks great. Conor's going to be very spiteful early in this fight. So I think Chris Van Heerden's got to be sharp. And if Van Heerden can get through that early part of the fight, it's going to be interesting. But I'm looking forward to the fight, and I think it's a good, solid test for Conor.
We saw Conor up on stage, as always, looks very kind of tense, very much looking forward to fight night now. You can see it in his eyes. What's going through your mind when you're watching him in the face-off?
Just don't chin him. You know, to be honest, Conor's matured quite a lot over the last year or so. You know, he's still got that aggression, but it's a more of a controlled aggression, which is good. And he's ready to fight. He works so hard in camp. Conor Benn is always in tremendous condition, and I think he'll give us a great performance tomorrow.
Chris Billam-Smith avoiding the handshake of Tommy McCarthy. What did you think of that?
The gentleman no more. It's a great fight. I'm so pleased those guys have agreed to the fight, and I can't wait to see it tomorrow. I think the first fight was a fight of the year contender, probably the fight of fight camp. I think you're going to get another great fight tomorrow.
Eddie, we covered the card yesterday and we covered a lot of topics, so just a few of things I want to kind of go over with you. Have you seen Neil Marsh's tweet?
I did actually, yeah, it was on my feed because I follow him. Something about...
I've got it. So a certain promoter keeps hating on our true champion, David Avanesian, who is one of the nicest guys in boxing. Time to put the record straight these next few days. The amount of SHIT that comes out of that person's mouth is embarrassing.
Going to put the record straight? Well, that'd be a massive interview. That'll be. Blow the numbers to... Look, was the interview with you, wasn't it?
No.
Okay, have you seen it?
Yeah, I was stood behind him.
Did I say anything? Was I not complimentary about David Avanesian? Tremendous fighter, very dangerous fighter, just not as big as the fights I'm looking to make. That's all. Because next fight, Conor Benn needs to be fighting at the level of David Avanesian, right? And I put Avanesian in the same level as Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Adrian Broner. But you've only got to look at what happened when he last fought to tell you the size of David Avanesian. That's not disrespect. I'm just telling you that we can't make as big a fight that will drive as many subscribers, that will pay Conor Benn the same kind of money than we can against the others. But let me just tell you one thing about David Avanesian, which people never talk about. And if you want to interview Neil Marsh, you can ask him. We offered Neil Marsh a fight with Alexis Rocha in an eliminator for the WBA world title in America. This is after the Josh Kelly fight. He chose instead to fight Liam Taylor. David Avanesian's last 2 fights have been against Liam Taylor and Metz. That guy was embarrassing. Conor Benn's last 2 fights have been against Chris Algieri and Chris Van Heerden. Who's fighting the higher level of opposition? So if you want all these big fights, go and make a big fight. And to Neil Marsh, look, don't mind Neil Marsh at all. Stop worrying about Conor Benn. Go and do your job and make him a real fight, because he's a real talent. Avanesian is an exceptional fighter. He says, he's being disrespectful to our fine young man. Avanesian is a fine man. He's a lovely guy. I think he's a lovely man. But what are they doing with him? No clue. So don't worry about us. Forget about us. If we don't want to fight you, don't worry. And we'll go and fight Algieri, Van Heerden, Mikey Garcia, Adrian Broner, Kell Brook. And then we'll see who David Avanesian fights.
So from the sounds of it, Eddie, you saying that fight pretty much never at any point you see it happen?
If we can't get a big name, we will fight David Avanesian. No problem. It's a great fight. It's a very dangerous fight. How much more complimentary can I be about David Avanesian as a fighter? It's a really dangerous fight, as is Mikey, as is Danny Garcia, as is Broner. That's the level of those guys. And one of the main reasons he hasn't boxed Avanesian yet is because I feel that is a really tough fight that has to generate enough money for risk reward. I can't be more complimentary than that. I'm not saying he's not good enough. We don't need Avanesian. I'm saying he's good. He's dangerous. But he's just not Mikey Garcia. He's not Danny Garcia. He's not Broner. And if we can't get a name, if we can't get a big draw, we'll definitely consider David Avanesian, despite everything that's been said.
Away from that, Eddie, Joe Cordina floating about this week. Have you got any update on him?
Yeah, we're trying to make the Agawa fight. You know, that's a fight that we want to make. We're in negotiations at the moment. He does have a mandatory against Rakimov, but you know, it's a fight that we'd like to try and make. So hopefully we can announce his next fight soon.
Gervonta Davis becoming a free agent after Rolly Romero. Will you guys be making a play for him?
If he's a free agent, then 100%. You know, we'd make Gervonta Davis a big offer. I know him. He's a great talent. Big star of the sport, and yeah, we'd definitely be interested for sure.
Who could you offer him as a fight when you consider obviously Devin's going to be tied up with Kambosos? Who would you look to offer to Gervonta?
Depends what weight he wants to fight at. I mean, if you're talking about fighting at 140, it looks like the belts are all going to come available. If you're down at 135, of course, Ryan Garcia also boxes on DAZN. That's a fight that Ryan Garcia's talked about wanting for a long time. That's a huge fight, huge money fight for Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta would take that fight. So that's probably the fight that, you know, we would look on our platform to make is the Ryan Garcia fight. Obviously, Golden Boy have Ryan Garcia, but there's plenty of fights at 140 as well.
I suppose you asked about Devin Haney. Will you travel out for that fight?
No, because it depends. We're supposed to have a show on the same night. If not, I would like to go. You know, I'd like to support Devin in that fight for sure.
What show are you putting on the same night?
One we're about to announce.
Can you give us anything as to who? Yeah?
No.
I have to try, Eddie. Moving on, just want to get your thoughts on the British Boxing World Control. Have said that you're going to be hosting the Dalton Smith Akeem Ennis Brown fight on their website. Just kind of when you're going to be looking to get that one out.
In the summer, probably July. Fair play to both those guys. A really tough fight for Dalton Smith, and obviously Dalton Smith is a very tough fight for Akeem Ennis Brown. Sam Maxwell was mandatory. Dalton Smith was mandatory for Sam Maxwell. He chose to vacate the title. We made that fight, and Dalton Smith will fight for the British title next.
We saw the Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte Zoom calls yesterday. Dillian Whyte finally talking out now, not just a video he put out on his social media. Just want to get your thoughts on any of his comments. What did you make of his interaction?
I thought he spoke well, you know, very calm. He's obviously trained very hard. He's ready to fight.
Do you think he feels frustrated that people look at this as what he said was it's not the Tyson Fury roadshow, it's the Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte?
He's living his own life over there. You know, he's not really interacting with people. He's just got a very nice, very calm life. He's dedicated to boxing, and he's getting on with his job.
Fury-Whyte obviously extended to 94,000. I don't suppose you was one of those guys able to pick up one of those extra tickets?
No, there's a few floating around though, but not. I don't know. I don't think I'll be there, but I'll definitely be watching.
AJ's network situation. Any update as to who will be going with on that?
We're going to make the fight first. We've had offers from Sky, which we've reviewed with 258. We've had offers from DAZN, which we've reviewed with 258. We've had offers from other platforms as well, but most importantly, make the fight and then go from there.
I know you said 2 weeks to me yesterday. Is that 2 weeks when you want kind of everything done? Or?
No, the fight date. The fight date and the venue, yeah.
I was also interested, when you look at the current crop of heavyweights, who do you see as kind of the next man coming through?
Filip Hrgović is the most dangerous heavyweight out there of the, you know, outside of the Furies and the AJs and the Whites and those guys. He's ready. You know, he's going to fight Zhang in a final eliminator, so he'll be the mandatory challenger to the winner of AJ against Usyk. So he's a real problem.
And final one, the only Olympian yet to sign, Mr. Ben Whittaker. Have you got any update for people?
No, I mean, you know, we've been offered every Olympian. And every manager, every agent has come to us and said, if you pay this money, they want to come with you. Some we said yes, Galal Yafai, the Olympic gold medalist, of course, Chev Clark as well. Some we said no, we're not paying that money. We have to make an independent decision for all this talent. Ben is an exceptional talent. I think he's a star in the making, but it has to be the right deal for us as well, because there's a huge amount of investment. We talk about, we don't do things like, you wouldn't just be boxing at the O2, or we're not even at the O2, but I don't know, Wembley and, you know, up in Newcastle. You're going to be boxing at Madison Square Garden, Las Vegas, Mexico, Australia. So there's a huge investment for us to turn these guys into a global star. So I would like to sign Ben Whittaker, but we haven't signed Ben Whittaker yet, and I guess we'll see what happens over the next week or so.
That was you from the last one, but just mentioning Australia there, how much has losing the Haney Kambosos fight changed your plan and strategy entering that market?
Not mine, because I was never promoting that fight, so not mine. The reason DAZN didn't want to do that fight in the end is because Australia wasn't available in terms of the broadcast territory. So they want to do a show where the broadcast territory is available, and our first show in Australia will be in September.
Eddie, sell it. Tomorrow night, why's everyone tuning in?
Because Conor Benn is, I think, one of the biggest stars of British boxing. He's so exciting to watch. It's like watching his old man all over again. Chris Van Heerden, the first southpaw of his career, big, strong welterweight. It's going to be a tough fight. Incredible co-main event. Chris Billam-Smith against Tommy McCarthy, the rematch. Alicia Baumgardner, I think, one of the biggest stars coming through in women's boxing, defending her world titles. Campbell Hatton, Jack Cullen in a great fight. Jordan Thompson, new star of the cruiserweight division. Thomas Whittaker-Hart in a really good fight. Cyrus Patterson, Luke Evans, JJ Metcalf, all live on DAZN tomorrow night.
Eddie, thank you.
Cheers.